Coming up on The Cut.
Elon Musk's net worth drops billions.
2 astronauts make their long-awaited return.
And a beloved music festival in Los Angeles this past weekend.
All this and more coming up.
The Cut starts now.
Hello and welcome to The Cut Network. I'm Abby Jurek.
And I'm Aaliyah Steinley.
Since Trump's recent election, the U.S.-Mexico border has become almost unrecognizable. The number of migrants entering the U.S. from Mexico has plummeted. All forms of illegal crossings at the border have reached the lowest rate in decades. Migrant shelters are empty, and security has increased due to President Trump's turn in U.S. policies and hardline tactics. These tactics include, but are not limited to, deploying troops to the border, halting southern border asylum, and publicizing deportation threats. U.S. Border Patrol said it had caught over 8,000 illegal migrants crossing the border in February. This is down from a record high in December of 2023, where over 200,000 people were apprehended at the border. This drastic shift has caused celebration among figures who have been asking for tougher border restrictions for years. Left-leaning critics feel very different, as many believe the border crackdown won't tackle the root causes of migration. Mr. Trump plans to enforce the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 in order to speed up illegal immigrant deportations. This American law gives little to no due process to the targeted party. The International Rescue Committee's January survey found that 44% of migrants who had initially intended to move to the United States have now planned to stay in Mexico.
In education news, cuts to the staffing at the U.S. Department of Education are raising concerns for families of children with disabilities. A recent report from the Associated Press reveals that staff reductions, particularly in the Office for Civil Rights, have led to significant delay of discrimination cases, with over 20,000 reported at last count. This delay in addressing complaints is leaving many families without critical support in ensuring their children's rights are upheld in schools. Advocates warn that the burden may shift to state and local agencies, which often lack the resources to manage such complex issues. With support for students with disabilities uncertain, stay tuned for updates on this developing story.
Low sales for Tesla hit Elon Musk's personal net worth hard. Cut reporter Brayla Burkhalter has more details. Brayla?
Elon Musk loses billions of dollars in one day just after shares of Tesla dropped. This is one of the biggest personal losses ever in a single day. Owner of Tesla and billionaire Elon Musk lost $29 billion last Monday, March 10th, when the stock prices plummeted by 15%. According to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, Musk had a net worth of $330 billion the Sunday before, and on Monday evening it had dropped to $301 billion. His net worth had recently peaked in December 2024, reaching $486 billion. This multi-billion-dollar difference is due to the decline in Tesla sales. After Musk started working for the Trump administration, he says running his companies Tesla, SpaceX, and X has been, quote, with great difficulty, end quote. Even with this setback, Musk still remains the richest man on earth, about $100 billion ahead of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. Amidst the U.S. stock market's low numbers and Trump's tariff moves triggering low sales for Tesla, Musk expresses optimism for the company. He says, quote, it will be fine in the long term, end quote. This setback is just a bump in the road for Musk as he plans for the next Starship's launch in about 4 to 6 weeks. For The Cut Network, I'm Brayla Burkhalter.
Thank you, Brayla. I wonder if it will continue to drop in the coming months. Tornadoes, wildfires, and dust storms destroyed multiple parts of U.S. states, killing at least 39 people. More than 400 homes were damaged, according to the Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management. The department also said the state's Office of the Chief Medical Examiner concluded 4 deaths were related to just fire and high winds alone. The National Weather Service announced Sunday that the weekend tornado watches had mostly died down, but dangerous winds were still to come in the Carolinas, East Georgia, and northern Florida through Sunday. The storms began last Friday and was named a, quote, high-risk designation from the weather forecasters. These dangerous conditions quickly turned deadly as they became far more intense than anyone had suspected. President Donald Trump encouraged people to join him in praying for those impacted by the storms in a social media post Sunday. Fatalities in Missouri reached 12, 6 died, and 200 were displaced in Mississippi, and officials confirmed further deaths in Arkansas. The storm also pushed into Texas, where wind-driven wildfires took flight. Texan Tracy Ladner said, quote, "My legs were shaking. It was pretty scary," when she recalled how a twister touched down close to her home over Highway 49.
Formula One racing is back for its 75th season. More with this story is Cut reporter Tatum Dutton-Lewis. Tatum?
Thank you, Aaliyah. This past weekend marked the beginning of the 75th season of Formula One racing. The season opener happened in dramatic fashion, with emotions running high, inconsistent rain, and many on-track incidents at Melbourne's Albert Park. Before the race started, Visa Cash App Racing Bull rookie Isaac Hudjar crashed exiting turn 1 on the formation lap. This left Hudjar in tears, only to be consoled by Anthony Hamilton, the father of fellow F1 driver Lewis Hamilton. After the race, Hudjar said, quote, "I am sorry for the team right now and my close ones watching the race. It's just embarrassing," end quote. The slick conditions also caused early exits of 5 other drivers. Melbourne hero Oscar Piastri was also not safe from the rain. On the 44th lap, the McLaren driver skid off the track into the grass, ending hopes for a podium in front of his home crowd. Initially running in second place, this incident put him at the back of the grid. While his setback caused him many points, he was able to fight back, securing 9th place for his team. Finally, F1 has a new breakout star in Kimi Antonelli. Antonelli, originally starting on 16th on the grid, was able to work his way up the ranks, finishing the race in 4th. This impressive performance by the 18-year-old has brought hopes to a disappointing Mercedes team. This 58-lap race concluded with McLaren's Lando Norris taking the top spot, followed by Red Bull's Max Verstappen and Mercedes' George Russell rounding out the podium. This upcoming Sunday, the drivers are set to race at Shanghai's International Circuit, continuing what is set to be a competitive season. For the Cut Network, I'm Tatum Dutton-Lewis.
Thank you, Tatum. That's certainly entertaining. In a developing story, 2 NASA astronauts, Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, make their way home after they have been stranded in space for nearly 9 months after technical problems delayed their return. The astronauts were supposed to come home much sooner, but issues with Boeing's Starliner capsule prevented their departure. Now, a new crew has arrived at the International Space Station aboard a SpaceX Dragon capsule to replace them. This crew allowed Williams and Wilmore to return back to Earth after their extended stay in space. The mission finally concluded upon their return Tuesday.
The world's largest hip-hop festival returned this past weekend. Cut reporter Angel Garcia is here with the highlights. Angel?
Thank you, Abby. This past weekend, Rolling Loud had its first performance of 2025, the world's largest hip-hop festival. With long-awaited album releases, let's dive right into the mosh pits. Starting with Saturday night, headliner A$AP Rocky made a dramatic entrance, dropping in from a helicopter for his performance set. Sounds like someone took notice of Travis Scott's playbook. Seated in his black chopper, Rocky performed an unreleased track from his most anticipated album, Don't Be Dumb. Rocky's high energy certainly left fans wanting more, performing songs such as A$AP Forever, Riot, and Taylor Swift. It can't be a Rolling Loud festival without some surprise guest. Rocky invited British rapper Skepta on stage for a live duet of 2018's hit, Praise the Lord. He closed his performance with Lord Pretty Flaco Jody 2. Alongside Rocky, Peso Pluma made history as the first Latin and non-hip-hop headliner in Rolling Loud. After all this hype for one day, how could it continue for another? Thanks to headliner Playboi Carti, Sunday continued with even more energy. After 5 years of waiting, Carti finally dropped his long-awaited album, named Music, on Friday, March 14th. With 77 minutes on set, Carti delivered an unbelievable performance. Opening with his album opener, named Pop Out, fans knew he meant business. Once again, Skepta hopped on stage with Carti, hyping up the crowd with their new song, Toxic. One of the biggest highlights of the night came when The Weeknd joined Carti, performing their new collaboration named Rather Lie, and new hit single, Timeless. Carti continued with live debuts of his albums such as Opium Baby, This One Got It, Jumpin', and Crank. Following these massive performances, the crowd requested Carti's classic, Location. And yes, he did perform Fiend. Cardi closed his set with his Die-Lit album, Long Time Intro. With A$AP Rocky's tease towards his new album release, Peso Pluma making history, and Playboi Carti's explosive finale, 2025 Rolling Loud California continues to prove why it remains one of the biggest festivals in the world. For the Cut Network, I'm Angel Garcia.
Now moving on to sports. Sports anchor Celeste Rivas has the updates on your favorite sports teams. Celeste?
Thank you, Abby. Here's the lineup for our sports news this week. We've got Brandon Graham's retirement from the Eagles after 15 years, the LA Dodgers taking on the Chicago Cubs in Tokyo, and a game recap from the Suns against the Raptors Monday night. Let's jump right in. After 15 seasons in the NFL, defensive end Brandon Graham announced his retirement on Tuesday. His entire career was spent in Philadelphia, as he was a first-round pick from Michigan in 2010. One of the turning points in his career takes us back to Super Bowl 52, when his strip sack of Tom Brady helped bring the Eagles its first Lombardi trophy. In November, Graham sustained a tricep tear, where it was believed he would miss the rest of the season. Through rehab, he was able to come back, play, and win Super Bowl 59. Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie said, quote, "Brandon Graham is the embodiment of everything you want in a Philadelphia Eagle," end quote. Turning to baseball, the Dodgers beat the Cubs 4-1 in Game 1 of the Tokyo series. The Tokyo Dome erupted with rally in the 5th inning as Shohei Ohtani made his first hit of the season, 107.4 miles per hour off the bat. For the 5 Japanese players in this Tokyo series, this was without a doubt an honorable experience to represent their home soil in Major League Baseball. For basketball, Devin Booker led a second quarter surge as the Suns beat the Raptors 129-89 Monday night. The Suns had 7 players score double figures despite Bradley Beal sitting out due to a hamstring injury. The Suns are now 11th in the Western Conference, 1 game behind the Mavericks for the last play-in spot in the West. This week, we have the Suns taking on the Chicago Bulls and the Mavericks taking on the Indiana Pacers, both teams fighting head-to-head for that last play-in spot. For the Cut Network, I'm Celeste Rivas.
Thank you, Celeste. Maybe cats really do have 9 lives. One cat made an incredible reunion with his elderly owner post-LA fires. 82-year-old Catherine Kiefer assumed her California Maine Coon named Aggie was dead for 2 months after the Palisades wildfire in Los Angeles. Aggie and Kiefer's home was left in ashes. Last Wednesday, Kiefer got an exciting call from the West Los Angeles Animal Shelter. Kiefer said, quote, "I was very much worried that I was going to wake up and discover that it had been a dream." Her daughter, Carolyn, shared their reunion Saturday in a TikTok video that captured the love and attention of millions. Tears streamed from Kiefer's eyes as Aggie curled up in her arms. Aggie was in tough condition when he was found. He was, quote, "basically skin and bone and in a state of starvation," Carolyn said. Aggie is now undergoing treatment and will return home soon with Kiefer. She is anxiously awaiting her cat's arrival and has a message for other pet owners awaiting their cat's return as well. She said, quote, "Don't underestimate cats." That is such a heartwarming story. As a cat owner, I can't imagine thinking my cat's dead and then I find her and she's alive.
That is really crazy.
That's
I mean,
actually
as
insane.
Abby's personal cat sitter for Squeaks, I would be devastated if you lost
Yeah,
Squeaks.
that would be very unfortunate.
It would be.
Yeah. And that'll do it for this episode of the Cut Network.
Thank you for joining us, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at @thecut_network and on X @thecut ASU. Have a good night.